Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Yasharala. Happy Feast of Purim, Feast of Lots, man. A glorious time to be in, a glorious celebration, man. Make sure y'all checking out the Book of Esther. A glorious memorial to the Lord, and that's what we're doing it for, right? This is Brother Saul R with Saints Advocating Law and Truth. We are the salt of the earth, right? Making sure that every sacrifice is seasoned with salt, a sweet savor to the Most High God, giving our honor to the Most High God, and giving our honor to His Son that was sent for us to be a sacrifice for us, right? All right, without further ado, man, this is the Way House, man. This is where we weigh everything in a balance, a show for edification and news, things that's brought to us daily, right? Things that we see to us things that we see daily. You know, we got some things that we want to get into tonight, man. This is episode 2. The water to the Most High for putting this on our brains to be able to give something else to the people, man. But without further ado, man, we're gonna get into it. We're not gonna waste no time, man. It's a lot of things happening right now, right? I don't know if everybody, if everybody's phone, you know, we had the thing with the service going on today. Then we had a hacking of pharmaceutical networks going on today, right? It's a lot of stuff going on, man. I can't call it. I can't be the one to, you know, to exactly put my finger on it right now at this moment. But give me some time, man. I'm gonna dig into it and I'm gonna see what's going on. I want to say it again, man. Happy Feast of Purim. I hope that everybody is feasting, enjoying themselves, doing whatever you do on these days. But I can't emphasize it enough. Go and read the Book of Esther. Mark your Bibles and take notes, man. And read the additions and the Apocrypha as well. That's what I'm gonna do first. This is what we're gonna get into. I want to get into this video. Wickedness in high places, the councils going on in the church, how to draw in a crowd, how to draw in Christians so that they can be able to keep people in the doors, so they can be able to support the church, so they can be able to fund their church, man. And all this stuff goes against the Bible, man. But I'm about to play it.
David Kinnaman, who is the president of Barna Group, created this concept called mosaics, where he says that millennials are like Moses. We made an exodus from the church. And this was before we were finished college, right? He said that every generation you can track that they will come back to church between the ages of 18 and 25 when they have children so that they can christen their children. But he predicted that millennials will be the first generation not to do that. And that is what happened. And so now you have millennials who many of you think are anyone younger than you. I want to help you today. I'm a millennial and I have a 6-year-old. I'll be 40 in about 18 months. Millennials are not young people anymore. Some of us have grandchildren. And so if you're worried about millennials, I hate to break it to you, but you're 3 generations behind. Millennials are born 1981 through 1996, right? And then you have Gen Z. These are people who were born in 1997 through 2012. And then you have my daughter, who's Gen Alpha, who was born after 2013. And so if you are concerned about millennials, I hate to break it to you, but you're 3 generations behind. 3 generations. And so when you start with millennials who are largely unchurched, they're raising kids who don't know what VBS is. And so we have to figure out what the church can do differently. I won't say what the church is doing wrong, what the church can do.
Man, stop, man. First off, we have to be able to acknowledge the wrong that we do. She said we want to figure out and come up with a plan what the church can do differently. Not what they're doing wrong, but what they can do differently to try to draw these kids from these different generations and all these different groups in and bring them back into the church. Right. The thing is that the church is doing all wrong. They're not doing right, period. They're promoting wickedness as well. It's just softened up. It's just whipped cream wickedness. It's not the whole thing. Well, I'm not gonna say it's not the whole thing. It's layered. It's hard to dissect it if you don't know what the truth is. You gotta, it starts within, right? That's where it starts. You need to see what y'all doing wrong. It's the fact that they think that they don't do any wrong, that they have been blinded.
Differently, to go back and wrap our arms around 3 generations. What we talked about was the issue is the church today is struggling to bring our concept of divinity to the lived experience of people's humanity. And so again, if you think about millennials who have children who are not in church, who are also having children who are not in church, my daughter's generation is the most liberal generation that's ever faced this earth. She has little boys in her class who have pink nail polish. She gets invited to birthday parties with kids who have 2 mommies. And so if you want to attract millennials, you need to preach a gospel that helps us contend with that. And if you are opposed to discussing people who have pronouns and whatever else, then you are going to get left behind. It's not a question about your theology, but how.
Hold on. I thought that I thought that she was talking about going into being able to combat these things, but she's promoting being all inclusive. She's promoting including these behaviors.
How do you help people grapple with their humanity? And so we suggested that a lot of pastors take some classes on gender identity and how to discuss those issues from a theological.
Listen, hey, this is not a joke. This is not a game. This is not a drill. Like, this is real life. This is what's going on. I thought Christ said, "Don't be a part of this world." I thought let's get that, because why are we talking about including things into what's supposed to be sacred, a place of worship that's supposed to be advocating for the Bible and being Christ-like and walking in a certain way, but you're promoting these type of behaviors just so you can fill up your pews, just so you can allow people into your church, just so you can be popular and play that type of game, right? This is crazy, man. Man, this is the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 19. It says, "If you were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hate of you." It's supposed to be a separation. It's not supposed to be all inclusive. You're supposed to separate the darkness from the light, right? We know that the Bible teaches against same-sex marriage, same-sex unions, but you want to introduce this into the church, further corrupting the church. Talk about the synagogue of Satan. And then you want the pastor to go take classes to educate himself. It says that the priest's lips should contain the oracles of God. You should seek the law with his lips. But now we want to seek worldly doctrine, right? This is why Christ said this, man. This is John 4:23. "But the hour cometh, and now is when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him." That's what we're doing as Israelites. Coming back to our nationality, stepping out of religion, being in the age of information when we can actually see these things, we can research things, we can use Google and search engines, we can read books now, right? We ain't in the back seat. We've got our hand on the steering wheel, because the Most High is seeking those, the true worshipers, to come and worship him. We're gonna stand on business. If we're not playing with this, we don't do this, man. This is not what we're doing. But we see that the church, they'll at all costs even defy God himself for ill means.
Standpoint, because these are the lived experiences of the people who have chosen not to come inside your churches. The other piece was the elephant in the room, women in ministry. A lot of millennials are refusing to engage in ministries that do not honor women. And it is to the peril of this body to continue to do that. If you would like to.
We all know the church love Paul. They love Paul. They love Paul more than they love Christ. I can read Matthew 15 and 24, where Christ out his own mouth said he was only sent but to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, meaning that the only reason why the Most High put him on this earth was to redeem those that were under the law. Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 15. But see, there a Christian will say that, well, Paul said this. Well, Paul also said that a woman should not teach in the church. That it's not her job to stand up and to edify. It's not her job to stand up and direct. It's not her job to stand up and kick doctrine in the church, but that she should be silent, right? Because there's an order. The Most High deals with the men, and then it trickles down from there. But it's the way of the world and it's the way of God, right? And it's no getting around it. Lean not on your own understanding. And that's what this is. It's just a play on emotions. This is what we want, but no, this is what God said. He's looking for the true worshipers to worship him in sincerity and in truth. That's why the people leave in the church, because this church is full of hypocrites and they playing in the Most High face.
To engage the 3 generations you are losing, you're going to have to honor women as equally as you honor men. David Kinnaman.
Let's get this. She said you have to honor women as equals to men. Like, nowhere you will find this teaching nowhere in the Bible. It's just not there. Come on, bear with me, man. All right, this is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11. And this is, I'm going to start at verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. Right? Nowhere in the Bible does it teach that men and women are equal, because it just doesn't exist. The concept nowhere in nature exists. Right? The man, he's more of a sound leader, of a surety, the confidence, the strength, the authority that's promoted. We can look at any kingdom in the world, the animal kingdom. We can look any place that you want to look into. The man is a dominant figure. He was the one that was put in the male is the dominant figure, right? We playing with fire right now. That's what we're doing. We playing with fire. It's not supposed to be like this. Why is this such a thing? Why is this going on right now? What's the goal and what's the game? Hey, Shalom, sister Alex. Shalom, can't wait to see y'all this weekend, man. We're gonna do it big in the name of the Lord, man. But yeah, it's not a good look at all. And let's get into another one. All right.
Is fluoride bad for us? That's what's being litigated in California right now in a major lawsuit that is not getting a lot of attention. Surprisingly, Derek Brose has been following this acutely. He's asked to come on Redacted and tell us about it. And we said, yes, absolutely. We want to know everything about that. Closing arguments are happening in the case today in San Francisco, so it's a good day to talk about it. Derek, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me and for giving a little bit of a signal boost to this story.
Right. Okay. So take us through it. Why is this such a landmark case and why do we not know about it? Can you give us a little bit of the history and the history of it not only happening, but being silenced?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a law that was passed in the United States called the Toxic Substance Control Act, which allows regular people, American citizens, to petition the EPA if they believe that a chemical or a compound has been proven to be toxic. And in this case, the Fluoride Action Network, Moms Against Fluoridation, and a few different plaintiffs, mothers whose children have been affected by water fluoridation, they filed a petition under TSCA to the EPA in 2016, essentially arguing that the data proves that fluoride is a neurotoxin and that it affects the IQ of children, especially during pregnancy and then postnatal. And the EPA rejected the petition, and this led to a lawsuit. So this has been going on since 2016, 2017, and it's essentially just kind of been the courtroom proceedings. But the first phase of the trial actually began in summer 2020. Of course, it was COVID lockdown, so it took place via Zoom. And I was reporting on it for the Last American Vagabond, doing live tweeting while watching Zoom and just writing articles. And in that first phase of the trial, there were some pretty big revelations that I can share about today. But essentially what happened in 2020, Judge Edward Chin, the federal judge who's overseeing this case, he decided that since the US government's National Toxicology Program, the NTP, was at that time currently studying fluoride, they were doing what's called a monograph. They were doing this massive review of all the data on fluoride, and they were focusing on just the low risk of bias, high quality studies, and trying to decide, is this really a toxin or is it not? And so the judge at that time said, you know what, this NTP report's going on right now. Let's just put everything on hold for a moment. Let's wait for this report to come out. And well, fast forward, here we are 4 years later, and the report still hasn't been officially released. But in that time, because of the lawsuit, one of the beautiful things of this lawsuit, and one of the other things that makes it historic, is the Fluoride Action Network and their lead attorney, Michael Conant, who's a brilliant attorney. They were able to do discovery and to file open records requests and to get all kinds of data from the government. And in that process, they obtained emails from the CDC's Oral Health Division, as well as emails that mention U.S. Assistant Secretary of Health Rachel/Richard Levine intervened to prevent the NTP study from coming out. These emails, which we've released in the last.
Okay, so some study was going on about fluoride. They went into a case, and the judge put it off because the study was about to come out, but a politician had stopped the results of the conclusion of the study from coming out. Right before I finish the rest of this video, I do want to read this article from IATP.org. It says 98% of Western Europe has rejected fluoridation. That's damn near everybody, ain't it? All right, it says fluoride is the only chemical added to drinking water for the purpose of medical, i.e., to prevent tooth decay. Side story. So when my wife was pregnant with my second child, she had some toothaches, and she went to the dentist. The dentist recommended fluoride toothpaste to prevent her toothaches. Like, damn, that's all that you can do? That's it? So I recommended her to take supplements, right? Calcium. I recommended calcium to her. And after a while, or I say in a couple of days, her toothaches they mellowed out, and eventually they stopped, because my guess is that the baby was pulling the nutrients, the calcium from her body to contribute to its growth. The doctor said fluoride, they just stamp a Band-Aid on everything. They don't want to give you no cure. They don't want to give you anything. They just want to stamp a Band-Aid on it. They just want to pacify it. They don't want to cure it. Right. So it says all other treatment chemicals are added to treat the water, i.e., to improve the water's quality and safety, which fluoride does not do. This is one of the reasons why much of Europe has rejected fluoridation. For instance, in Germany, the argumentation of the Federal Ministry of Health against a general permission of fluoridation of drinking water is the problematic nature of compulse medication. In Belgium, it is the fundamental position of the drinking water sector that it is not its task to deliver medical treatment to people. This is the sole responsibility of health services. Why is there fluoride in water? For what? Why? Let's see if we can get some answers.
Last year or so show that the NTP scientists, U.S. government scientists, wanted to release the report in May 2022, but these elements of the U.S. government prevented it from coming out. And the only reason we know that is because of these emails that came out in the lawsuit. And
wait. That's shocking. Rachel Levine, we know, is no stranger to giving substances.
Man, look at this goof. Man, look at this goofball. Look at this goofball right here. So this is the woman who was stopping the results of fluoride, the conclusion of the fluoride matter from coming out, right? What this has to do with politics, we don't know, but we know that one thing, our government is trash. Look at our society. Look at the world that we live in. It's trash. They're cheap. We did a lesson about GMOs, oils, all of these foods all of these ingredients that are in majority of the food that we eat that is terrible for us, and it's approved by the FDA. It's approved by the U.S. whatever I forget the name. It's approved by all of these departments that are supposed to observe, that are supposed to organize food and make sure that it's healthy for us to consume, and it's approved by them. But all of these foods promote death, right? Just look at the woman, right? Does it look like she give a damn? Look, these people are funded. These people have biases. These people are swayed. We know what the Bible says a gift destroyeth the heart. A gift destroyeth your mind. It can cause you to be corrupt. And that's what these people are. Why else would you not want the information on fluoride to come out if it was not going to damage the infrastructure, it's not going to pull money away from whatever cabinet, whatever department that you want the money to be to, and you would have to fix the issue. But even if it did come out, I doubt it, because us as Americans, we're so much sheep that it really don't even matter. They put it in our face. We're not finna do nothing. We don't care. We just want to dance on TikTok.
With wild abandon to every human body. And so what was the justification for holding back this report?
So the U.S. government has publicly said they don't think it's ready for release, that it's not complete, the evidence is not clear, it's inconclusive, these sort of things. But the interesting thing, because of these emails, again, we actually have the emails of the scientists themselves. So while the scientists at the National Toxicology Program were saying our study's ready for release May 2022, they had already set the date for publication. They were going to publish it on their servers. And then while they're having that conversation over at the CDC and HHS, they're saying this report's not going to happen. And one email specifically mentions Rachel Levine will not let this report come out.
That's not how a research report works. You don't run it through the politicians to see if they like it. If the scientists think it's done, then we should be able to see it. That in and of itself is shocking. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, it's important to kind of break that down. And I think that the most important point here to highlight is, okay, so what was the scientist's conclusion, right? What did they conclude? What did the NTP conclude? We do know, because again, because of this study, and now that we've resumed the second phase, Judge Chin did allow the NTP report in its draft form, since it's never been officially released. He did allow it into evidence, and that report says fluoride exposure is associated with lower IQ in children. It couldn't be more clear as day as that, and that is what this whole case is revolving around. Can the Fluoride Action Network prove to Judge Edward Chin, as they've been trying for the last 2 weeks in San Francisco, to show him that the data proves that we have more than enough evidence, as the NTP, the government's own scientists, have said, fluoride has an association with lower IQ in children, specifically when pregnant mothers are consuming it, and then of course postnatal, it has a very detrimental impact on our.
Okay, so we have it there. Fluoride affects the mental capabilities in some way, shape, or form. That's what's going on, and I bet my bottom dollar it does more than that. I bet it does more than that. That's just what we coming out with now. Years from now, it's gonna be some more something come out the woodworks about it does this and it does that, right? Go check out that video on the channel about GMO foods, GMO crops, about all the oils that are in everything, the GMO period, the things that are tearing up our body. We got another one to add to it, fluoride, man. This is what's going on in the country right now. The video came out yesterday. And this is what it deals with, right? This is Ezekiel 4:13. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, which I will drive them. Here we in the land of our captivity, living in these unfortunate circumstances where everything seems to be monitored and we trust in our authorities, but they don't care about us. It's obvious, man. We can't even drink water. We can't even drink water. Like, you can get away from the bottled water, but it's like, damn, I gotta take a shower in it. It's like, damn, my children have to bathe in it. Like, what's so good about the Industrial Revolution? We might as well be bathing in creeks. It seems like it's a lot more healthier. I gotta wash my clothes in it. It's everywhere. You just can't escape this. It kind of reminds me what the Lord said about unless the days be short and shall no flesh live. I know that's getting into something else, but it is kind of like, it just makes me think about it, man. Man, all right. And the next thing I want to get into, it's gonna be a shorter episode, right? Kind of what's going on with the border crisis, the immigrants that's coming in. That's what we're gonna look at next, man. Because this is alarming, man. I don't see anybody really even bringing it up anymore. Like, it's kind of like died down. I'm thinking it may even have to do something with us getting hacked, like the pharmaceutical networks being hacked today. It might have to do something with the towers, why everybody's cell phone was tweaking today. So, obviously, as in the title, illegal immigrants attack New York Police Department cops, making arrest at New York City migrant shelter. It's a lot of these migrant shelters are everywhere. It's tens of thousands, and they coming in daily. Why come here? What's the purpose of them coming here? I don't know. I was waiting for somebody to throw something. I was waiting on it. I was like, bro, it's too many of them. They outnumbered in there. They getting rowdy. Somebody finna throw something, bro. Oh! Oh my God. Look, in episode 1, we had a video where two female officers had went to go apprehend the suspect. They came up the staircases to an apartment complex, guns drawn, and they emptied like 45 shots into the window because they were frightened. They're not prepared for this situation. This female officer is not prepared for this situation. She don't even, once that chair flew and sideswiped her face, she don't even know what to do right now. That's why in the law, when we get into Deuteronomy chapter 22, the woman wearing what pertains to a man, it's also going into a woman like this in a man's uniform, taking on a man's duty and a man's role in a man's position. It's not supposed to be like this because she's not supposed to be in that situation. This is a delicate woman, right? It's not supposed to go down like this. She don't know what the fuck to do. Excuse me. She don't know what to do. They're going crazy now.
Oh God, back up! Back up! Oh my, no. Yo, security, surround the cops! Surround the cops! Watch out.
Hey, we got issues. We got issues in this country, man. I don't. It's not gonna get no better. It's not gonna get no better. It's not gonna get no better. I gotta laugh to stop myself from crying. It's man, it is over with, man. We are finished. This is a start. This is the beginning of sorrowful times.
Watch out. Rebel, let's go.
Yo, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. What's going on? Like, I can't call it. I can't call what's going on, man. I can't call it. It's this is Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 16. It says, "For there shall be no constancy with the people, and when one overpowers the other, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and practice violence in all their dealings." That's what we on our road to. We on our road to sedition among men. We have an influx of migrants coming into the country. They have not been here. They don't know the culture here. They're not familiar with the laws and the rules, regulations here. They may not be used to this treatment, right? So they can be a little scared and a little frightened. And when you get people like that, They're scared and frightened, and they might get down in their country. It's a whole new ball game over here. The streets, I'm gonna call it. The streets gonna be turned up. It's gonna be a lot of news circulating around about this topic, right? There's gonna be a lot of news circulating around about this topic. They're not gonna care about the police. They're not gonna care about the Coast Guards or the weekend soldiers or the I ain't say the Coast Guards, the National Guards. They're not gonna care about that. They're gonna go to work, and it's gonna be something like this going on around. It's gonna be this little stint. It's gonna be going on around the country, right? You see the rebellion going on in France with the farmers. I believe it might have been in Venezuela or Brazil. The people have been rioting. It's gonna be riots, man. It's gonna be sedition among men. It's gonna be sedition among kingdoms. It's gonna be kingdom versus kingdom, people versus people, nation versus nation. That's what's going on. And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. The beginning of sorrows. Welcome to it. It's the last video I want to get into.
Migrants from China are now the fastest growing group of people entering the United States illegally from Mexico.
China?
Why are we seeing these growing numbers? Here's what we know.
New York?
Customs and Border Protection reported more than 24,000 Chinese migrant encounters at the southern border last fiscal year. In 2021, that number was just 450.
Did you just arrive here in the United States?
The migrants previously told News Nation reporters that they...
Why is there so many? But why? Why is there so many? I need to look at that number one more time. Hold on. This is crazy. Why are they coming here? Bro, went from 450 to 24,000.
In 2021, that number was just 450.
Did you just arrive here in the United States?
The migrants previously told News Nation reporters that they're escaping the Chinese Communist Party.
No.
They claim to seek asylum in the United States.
No. I don't buy Moel. I don't buy it. We beefing. We beefing. Y'all ops. You not my op. Well, yeah, you are my op. But at this particular moment, if I don't got no beef. You know what I'm saying? That's between the US and y'all country. Y'all ops. Y'all ops. They're not. No.
Yearning for American freedom.
Some flight.
No. I'm sorry to tell you, ain't no freedom over here. Ain't no American freedom over here.
To Ecuador, where no visa is needed, and then travel north. Others are flying into Tijuana Airport before being guided across the border by smugglers. The Chinese migrants are reportedly willing to pay cartels up to $35,000 for smuggling services. And for a lot of them, it pays off. More than 50% of Chinese asylum applications were granted in the 2023 fiscal year. That's much higher than the average across all nationalities, which is only 14%. So why are these migrants seeking asylum instead of trying to enter the US legally with a visa? One possible reason is that the United States tightened visa restrictions for people from China over the last several years. In 2016, the US issued 2.2 million.
But look at them two raisins walking across the stage. Look at them. What do they look like, raisins? Well, hell, just dried up, man. Dried up.
Temporary visas. In 2022, that number dropped to just 160,000.
They've always consistently had high numbers of asylum seekers. I think second to that is the processing times in the embassies, the US embassies in China are taking so long. Also, it's getting harder for a lot of them to maybe get tourist visas. So some of those folks may have come here as students, tourists, everything like that before, and then ultimately decide, hey, I can't return to my country and seek asylum that way, versus now they can't even get into the US that way. So maybe they're taking this very desperate measure to do the journey even from China.
Social media has also likely played a role in the border crossings, allowing potential migrants to better understand the process and see what the journey is like to enter the United States.
¿Cuántas familias están aquí?
All right, man. Like I was saying, we got issues. There's a lot going on than people actually realize. It's a lot going on than people actually want to notice, but we still marrying and giving and married. We still going on with our daily lives. You know, we still want to watch the Super Bowl. We still want to do this. We still want to do that. Like everything is normal. Everything is not normal. And it's going to come a time pretty soon where you're going to realize that you wish you would have took heed to the information. You wish you would have paid attention and been more aware, had your wits with you, been more sound in what's going on in the world, rather than going out to eat, posting pictures for Instagram, doing TikTok dances, Friendsgiving, all that type stuff. Look, it's those who get it, they're gonna get it. Those who get it, they're gonna get it. I hope you're preparing, and I hope, and I don't mean this to scare you, because Most High didn't give us the spirit of fear, but every man put his trust in the Lord, and the Lord will lead you right. Keep the commandments and the faith in Christ, and the Lord is gonna lead you right. He gonna look after you. He gonna take care of you. But know that the Lord said these things are coming, and they have to come to pass. So you have to prepare yourself, even a little bit. Go stock up on waters. Stop pigeon shopping. Get food that lasts a long time without all the extra preservatives. Learn how to grow food. Learn how to identify plants in the landscape, right? I got hella dandelions outside. I'm gonna go pick them. Do your research. But these are the things to be able to know the difference between a dandelion and a fake dandelion, something that looks edible and something that's poisonous, because we might be in them times. It might be in our lifetime. I think so, man. But yeah, I don't want to leave tonight without at least getting in a little bit of Purim. I don't want to leave. Yeah, I don't want to leave tonight without getting into a little bit of Purim. What we doing today? The Feast of Lots. It was basically life or death, right? We had a certain man in the provinces of the Persian Empire, specifically in the palace of Shushan, that was secondhand to the king, and he had a hatred for the Jews. He had a hatred for our ancestors because we had certain laws that just did not coincide with society. We didn't fit in. They were strange laws to them, right? Let me get that. This is the book of Esther, chapter 3, and I started verse 6. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had shewed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai, which are the Israelites. In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast Pur, that is the lot, before Haman from day to day and from month to month. So Haman is coming up with a plan and a plot on how he's going to destroy these people who he don't like. So they cast lots. The whole thing about Purim is the casting of lots, right? And in ancient times, they would have stones. They would have stones. Haman, he might have been before like a board with the months and the days. He might have had a calendar on the floor. They rolled the stones to see on what day would the day be that they would destroy all the Jews out of the land, put them to slaughter. So it says from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month, that is the month of Adar. So the lot fell on the 12th month. It's like rolling the dice. It fell on the 12th month. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws, therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. So the king agreed with it, he stamped it, and they were going to do mischief to the Jews. I'm gonna get this out of the rest of the editions of Esther in the Apocrypha. This is chapter 13 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 4. Yeah, I started at verse 4. It says, declared unto us that in all nations throughout the world there was scattered a certain malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations. And that's how the nations looked at us. It's a malicious people. What you mean you don't eat pork and you can't eat shellfish? And that's good. That's good for us. What you talking about? I can't eat it neither. And God said this and God said that, and you can't do this and you got to do that. This a malicious people. Because the words that we speak are the words that the Most High had to be written down by the hand of the prophet that he put the spirit on. And that's what they don't like, because it's authority. They know deep down into the depths that these things are true. But these are the children of the flesh. These are not the children of God. He said that had laws contrary to all nations and continually despised the commandment of kings, so as the uniting of our kingdoms. That's the same thing that they had going on with religion, right? The uniting, make people one through religion. Kind of what the sister was going into in the first video I played about bringing everybody into the church. It goes back to Constantine, to the Council of Nicaea, even before that. It goes back even to with the Greeks. If you read First Maccabees, Second Maccabees, they wanted everybody to be one people on one accord. But we don't want to be one people with you. We our own people, and we got certain standards and morals that we upheld. This is what we do. We are not of this world. It says, uniting of our king honorably intended by us cannot go forward. Seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men, deferring in a strange manner of their laws, and evil affected to our state. So our laws were evil to them, and it just grinded their gears. And for some reason, they just could not get past it. It says, working all the mischief they can, that our kingdom may not be firmly established. Right. This is prophetic as well, going into the future. This country is going to put the blame on us, that we are people contrary to the motion. We are people that's contrary to social reform, to the way things are. We're holding the nation back from being great, and it's our fault. Peep game. It's gonna happen. So this is why the lots were cast on us, right? But the Most High had turned the lot around. He put up Esther in position that she was queen. He made her to be favored among the king, that he crowned her queen, and then he listened to her petition. He listened to her advice. She came before him in a time that was troubling, doing a thing that she should not do. That if she displeased the king, it would have been death for her. But she stood up for her people. So it went from a day that we were supposed to be murked in the streets by everybody, and it was turned to a day that we fought and nobody could stop us. Nobody could hold us. A day of gladness and a day of joy. Life for death, right? Or I say we were supposed to get death and we were issued life, right? So that's why we in Esther chapter 9, and I started at verse 15. It says, for the Jews that were in Shushan gathered themselves together on the 14th day also of the month of Adar, and slew 300 men at Shushan. But on the prey they laid not their hand. But the other Jews that were in the king's provinces gathered themselves together and stood for their lives, and had rest from their enemies, and slew of their foes 75,000. That's a lot of bodies. We out there slapping heads off, catching bodies, man. The Bible is real because the Bible got the good, it got the bad, and it got the ugly. It's gonna tell you if we was out there kicking ass, taking aim, it's gonna tell you we was out there doing our thing. It says, but they laid not their hands on the prey. We don't even want that. You can have that. We good. On the 13th day of the month of Adar, and on the 14th day of the same, rested they and made it a day of feasting and gladness. But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled themselves together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof, and on the 15th day of the same, they rested and made it a day of feasting and gladness. So this is why we have the Feast of Purim. This is why we have the Feast of Purim. This is what's going on. You know, some of us, we have the Feast of Nicanor, I believe it was on the 13th day of the same month. But this is why we have some people feast just on the 15th. Some keep it the 14th and the 15th. Some keep it the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. You know, it's all in there. But we can actually go into the scriptures and we can actually give proof of why we celebrate something, what the celebration is, the origins, the days, all the way back to the scriptures in ancient times. Something that people can't do with Christmas. They're either you can do it, but you'll deny it. You can look up the origins of Easter, but you'll deny that that's what it is. Halloween, you're gonna deny. Thanksgiving, you're going to deny the origins. You know, it's whatever, man. Do what you want to do. How about that? Do what you want to do. Verse 19 in Esther chapter 9, it says, therefore the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month of Adar a day of gladness and feasting, and a good day, and of sending portions one to another. This is why some people give gifts one to another. Verse 20, and Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus, both nigh and far, to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar, and the 15th day of the same yearly, as the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, in the month which was turned into them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another and gifts to the poor. This is a day where we aim to do charity, a day where we aim to give back, sending portions one to another and giving gifts to the poor. A day that was supposed to be appointed death to us, but we were given life, right? Kind of resemblance of Christ. We were appointed death because of our sins and our iniquities, but in Christ we were given life. And a chance to be given life, right? I ain't gonna look. We might have to drop a whole lesson on that in itself, but that's for another day. Yeah. So you know, happy Purim again. This is the Way House. It's episode 2 of the Way House, season 1, episode 2. All praise to the Most High. In the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, ignorantly called Jesus Christ. So with that being said, man, this is Saints Advocating Law and Truth. And shalom to the people. Be merry. And we'll see you next week. Shalom.